Hello everyone, hope you are having a good start to your Sunday. I was able to finally unlock lethal ranges and do some pushing. And with that, I was able to secure my rank 24 chest. So I'll show you a few of the replays and we'll walk you through the tech tree as well. So I haven't upgraded anything else behind. I can now max barrage, but I'll see what next tech path looks like for me. But these two are the main sort of unlocks which I have been able to use and do to push forward. The troop health is really critical to use laser ranges effectively, and it's good that it's just a node behind that. And then laser ranges was the main powerful unlock which allowed me to push. Obviously I got bombers and I tried pushing with bombers, but it didn't really work out very well for me. I just about maintained my rank. Here's what the log looks like. One loss against a Seeker player. That was close, only by 7 seconds. Maybe some other offensive tech can help me even out those odds. Or maybe shock launchers to slow them down just that little bit that I need to kill them much quicker. But let's go through my hits. First one. This player didn't have BH. I actually thought that it's another Seeker player. On this layout, I'm flaring in the right corner so that I can get some split going up top and then further on towards the left side as well. And while the troops are working through the defenses, I'm barraging out that ER because this player didn't have the building health, which makes it easy to barrage out. And since I thought it was a Seeker player, I just did a Hail Mary flare, let the laser ranges and the other troops start to go through the base. Next one. This one I'll walk you through. This one also didn't have BH, I think, which is why I'm doing the same style of it. The troop loadout I'm using is 2 boats of heavies, 4 boats of laser ranges, 2 boats of bombers, and Kavan for the second wind. I'm again flaring right so that I can start to gather the troops a bit up top so that now they can start to split. And then barraging that far left ER because he didn't have building health. And once the front ERs are down, I'm just going to flare the final ER, use the shocks to protect my troops slightly, and take the base down really quickly. And more stacked 5 ER. This one did have PH and more of a slightly spread layout, but 2 ERs in the right corner. I'm using the same troop loadout pretty much on all my hits now. On this one, I am using barrage to clear the mines so that my laser ranges are slightly better protected because Kavan obviously can't heal all of them up. And then once they accumulate the damage, there's nothing really to heal them. So mines can still be deadly enough. But letting the troops work through the base as best as they can, and then supporting the hit with either barrage or shocks and Kavan as and when I can in terms of second wind. But laser ranges are really fast, so they do make the hits look quite easy if you can manage the hit well. This 5ER layout also had shock launchers, but I'm going to do the same style hit because again my troops can split up on the right side and the left side with the way that the base is designed, so I don't really need to force them to have a split. I'm using a couple of shocks to protect against the shock launchers because obviously they can slow down my hit more than anything else. I'm not worried about them killing my troops, just slowing them down. But after that, it's just managing the hit well enough so that you can progress through the base as quickly as possible. Did have to do an emergency shock on the boom cannon because it was looking at my Kavan, and although Kavan's rule was done, I wasn't too sure whether it was fully done or not. But luckily, I got through the base well in time. try the C. Now this, you guys will be wondering, oh my god, 6 ERs. So I'm still using the same troop loadout, but I did do a slight delay in dropping the bombers so that the bombers could go up top. So after clearing the initial defenses, I've released the 2 boats of bombers so that they can start to walk up. Luckily, a few of my other troops also decided to join that party, so they went up top as well with the bombers. And I'm using barrage to clear out a few mines, which I think would have been dangerous for my troops. While working through the base, I'm using the second win as and when I can, but only if I really need to, seeing what the meat shield looks like. But since my bombers are up top, I'm just going to flare the top ER so that my troops also start moving towards it and they're closer to this ER. And then once that goes down, I'm reflaring to the final remaining ER using a barrage as needed and taking it down quickly to secure a win against a 6 ER player. This was more of a standard 5 ER layout, so going to do the same hit. Use the barrage to clear out the mines a little bit, and then let the troops kill off the defenses as they work forward. Shock the shock launchers so that they don't trouble us too much. Letting the troops split because the base layout allows to do that, so don't need to do anything by yourself. And using the shocks against defenses which I think will be more troublesome or more slowing down. But most of the times, the laser ranges by themselves are quite a strong unlock in the stick tree to help us push forward. This one was a more meaty layout as well. And in this one, I'm going to force a split myself because of the layout. And while flaring the troops right, I then flare them slightly up top so that they can both go towards the top ones and the middle one. Not too sure like which layout is better, the ones which force a split or the ones which just naturally let you work through the base. I haven't really had that many hits to practice to really give you an opinion on that, but hopefully these replays help you make your own decisions. And as the troops are moving forward, just letting them take those final 2 ERs with Hail Mary and using a shock for the flamethrower so that my laser ranges can continue to beat down the ER. And then I was on my boss fight and I faced a 6 ER, which I drew, luckily, otherwise that would have been quite a bit of a pushback. I'm going to do a similar sort of a thing, delay dropping the bombers slightly on these 6 ER layouts. I think maybe that will work better. But yeah, I've only faced probably like 3 or 4 6 ER layouts, and I think I've generally done okay against them, either winning against them or doing a draw. But the 6 ER deck is huge for sure. I think the only reason why I'm winning is probably they don't have the same offensive tech, which I do, which is helping out. I really dropped those 2 boats of bombers for primarily this ER. And then once this ER and those top ERs are going down, then I'm going to start flaring and doing a Hail Mary, which happens right about now. Use the shocks to protect the bombers so that when they are in range, they can take down the other ER. And I was lucky that I had barrage left over to kill off the ER. Otherwise, I would probably have lost by 1 second. And the final hit for rank 24. Again, kind of pretty much a max 5 ER layout with 2 protos, 2 shock launchers, all the defenses. And I'm just going to let the troops do their thing, shocking the shock launchers as they are working forward. And this one I was able to do the shock launcher and the shock blaster both in one, which was quite useful. The scorcher launcher is giving the troops a little bit of trouble, but the laser ranges are quite good with their speed of attack. So they can kill off the critters quite quickly, and then the CL too as well. and then a final barrage to kill off the remaining ER. In terms of progressing next, I'm not too sure. Critters are quite powerful, and I think they might be more value for me, especially if they're more 6ER players that I start facing, because that would just amplify my hits, and maybe I could just barrage and critter an ER as well, or maybe even 2 ERs. I don't really know, just depends upon how those layout goes. Shock launchers is quite good, especially against Seeker players, if I can slow them down slightly, because they don't have all the buildings and the defenses, of course, so you can get through their bases much quicker. And then there's a whole proto node. So this one has a Sky Shield 2. Obviously, I don't really have Shock Blaster also. And there's one next to Kawan with the Doom Cannon as well. So all, I think, quite good unlocks. And then obviously the 6ER itself. I could also go down the route of Seekers and Artillery, but I'm not too sure because I don't really have smoke, and I think to maximize my use, especially against 6ER bases and so, I'd probably need smoke as well, which is another one full chest away. But let's see how it goes. I'll probably make my decision later on today, once I start to see what the top global board is doing. Because yes, most of these players are like pushing for the rank 25 chest, which I don't really know whether I will be able to do today before the legendary tier unlocks. But I'll see in the next time chest, because by then I will be able to unlock one of these things, either the shock launchers or some proto nodes, or critters I can do now, but probably the problem with only unlocking critters is 5 plus 25. I'll only have 30 keys left, so then I won't be able to do any other unlock in the evening, so probably not critters for now. But that's about it for today, folks. Hope this is useful, and thanks a lot for all the views on my previous video. I was really blown away with that, and thanks for all the sharing which has been happening in the background too. I'm close to my target of 200 subscribers, which I thought would happen only by end of season 2. So thanks a lot for doing that. And if you haven't, then please do consider subscribing. Have a great Sunday and all the best for your push.